Louisville grieving together.
This is an unimaginable tragedy for our community.
As investigators release new details about the shooter who killed 5 people. Police body camera video expected to be released in an hour. Right now, the focus is on those who died.
We are grieving. We are hurting. We are heartbroken. We are despondent.
Those still fighting for their lives and keeping a tragedy like this from happening again.
I would simply ask you to do something, because doing nothing, which is what we've been doing, is not working.
A somber sight in downtown Louisville, a memorial starting to wrap around the bank where a gunman killed 5 people yesterday morning.
Loved ones and people who didn't even know those who died now leaving flowers on the steps of the bank. It's all to honor these 5 victims. Josh Barrick, Jim Tutt, Tommy Elliott, Juliana Farmer, and Deana Eckert. Each one went to work at Old National Bank yesterday, not knowing that it would be their last.
And WDRB's Darby Bean talked to those who stopped by that memorial today. Darby?
Most of the people that have stopped by here were strangers. They did not know any of those victims, but a lot of them did know someone who did know some of the people inside, or they felt touched by this tragedy in some way. They were at church vigils last night. They were coming out here today to place flowers outside of the bank steps. There's one area right out front where they're very concentrated, but it also wraps around the side of the building where there's at least 1 or 2 other bouquets. People just trying to do something that's positive in the light of this tragedy, something that they feel like they can do to make a difference.
From a stranger's hands to the front steps, carnations, roses, sunflowers, and lilies. Handwritten notes resting on a cross.
It's just so sad that we felt we had to do something, and so we brought some flowers over.
These bouquets, bursting with color, are breaking through the darkness of what happened here, behind yellow tape still stretched in front of the building. This is a growing memorial, put in place to honor the lives of those killed in a mass shooting at Old National Bank in downtown Louisville Monday morning.
It's on 8th Street, and of course we heard what was going down and what was happening, and just devastated. I mean, I literally didn't have words, paused and cried. It was just overwhelming.
A wholesale florist less than 2 miles away from the bank brought many of these flowers here Tuesday.
Everybody's just in shock. You have to be able to have you have to have some way to express yourself in your grief, and I'm trying to understand what it just doesn't make sense. But coming together and supporting one another, and that's something here in Louisville I've noticed over the years being here for many years, that we do pull together in a tragedy in a time of, like this.
For those who knew the victims,
we became very good friends. Tommy is first of all, he's an amazing father and husband to his children and to his wife, Marianne. He is a great friend.
And those who didn't know anyone inside, Louisville is grieving. Kevin Canterbury says he wants his children to know that hope will win, shown in these petals placed by strangers.
But I brought her. She's only 4. So not going to go into in-depth like I did with her older brothers. But as a 4-year-old, I think she still understands hope. I think she understands loss better than I think we realize.
Lives forever changed, a time this city will not forget.
It says a lot about a community when we can come together in the face of such darkness and show that light still exists. Not only does it still exist, but light trumps the darkness. And that's an important message that I want to give my kids.
We don't know how long this memorial will stay out here or how large it will grow. We have seen several people stop by today and either place just a single bouquet or a few flowers. Some people have unloaded a van full of flowers. We've seen people leave notes. Several people have just stopped to walk by and pause for a moment. Lots of people have taken pictures of this memorial. I saw one woman kneeling down, looked like she was praying. Some people were crying. You can tell it's still been a tough day for several people out here, and we will continue to follow this for several days, I'm sure. Reporting live with photojournalist Dave White, Darby Bean, WDRB News.
Darby, thank you. And the city has a public vigil planned for tomorrow evening. It starts at 5 p.m. at the Muhammad Ali Center on North 6th Street downtown. Free parking will be available, and people are invited to remember the victims of yesterday's mass shooting, pray for those still recovering, and work toward peace. The city is also making mental health professionals available at more than a dozen houses of worship across Louisville Wednesday night. The list of churches where those services will be available has not yet been released.